Hello there. And we
Hello.
are back with another episode of Nothing But Facts, Season 3, Episode 12. I'm Chloe Rogers, grandson of Steve Rogers, son of Aaron Rodgers. And I'm here with the bestest co host in the whole wide world, Mr. Trill Bill.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. Chilling like a villain, ready to talk that good shit.
You doing good, man?
Oh, yeah, just living life, breathing.
But you didn't place any brackets. And you didn't place any bets.
Nah,
You tripping?
just been a fan of sports, just watching.
You want chaos.
Oh, yeah, I want utter chaos.
Syracuse about to do that right now.
Yeah, Loyola worked Illinois earlier today. That shit was terrible.
Plus 900 for them to win the title. The third best odds, and they're the A seed. Who was in their bracket? Oh yeah, Houston. That's they already took care of the best team.
Sister Jean, she got the woo.
She does.
That's all I need to say.
The best in the world, probably.
Bro, she's still alive somehow.
She said they're gonna shoot 30%. They're gonna shoot 30% from three or under, and they shot 29.
She was like, "Watch this."
She's a wizard.
Not only is she a wizard, but like
you're a wizard, Jean.
I seen her in the Harry Potter movie.
She's Jean Grey from the X-Men.
Oh fuck, she's a mutant. Oh shit, nah, they're gonna win. Go place money on them. They're for sure gonna win.
Bro, she just immortal though, bro. Like, bro,
this guy thought he Larry Bird. I'm sorry.
Syracuse is gonna fuck them up, bro. Like, I'm sorry, West Virginia's not a basketball school. Like, I've never sat down and been like, yeah, West Virginia, they great. They make great NBA players. Fuck out of here. Syracuse, they got shooters. They gonna run a 2-3. Jim Boeheim caught a body about a year ago, literally. So
look at that.
Bro, they beating everything.
Yo, they're
like,
take
a layup, beat.
This is gonna be a blowout.
Bro, it's terrible.
John. Oh my.
Just good night, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's at this point.
Imano. It was just 17-10.
It's 24-10.
It's over.
It's a wrap, big dog.
I really thought I put them in a parlay, but that parlay got fried. Oh, there they go. Oh,
they're trying. Look at him. I don't even think that was legal
that
right
was
there.
Not. Yo, he was out of bounds.
I think he was out of. Oh no, that better not go in. It
would have been over.
The camera off right there.
It would have been over. You would have had the lost connection, like when you play 2K, 12, 11, 10, and then it'd just be your.
Bro, I would have just gave someone else a controller, bro. Like, this shit not worth it at this point. Hell no, it's not worth it at this point, bro.
Well then, I guess it's a good time to just kick on in here. So we're going to start off with Facts or Crack. The very first topic we have on Facts or Crack. Will the New England Patriots once again be on top of the AFC East next season? Facts or Crack?
I've got Crack, although they've made a hell of a push. I still think that Buffalo's the team to beat. I think that another year, Diggs and Allen being together, they'll actually have a full offseason together, hopefully, if COVID doesn't, go crazy somehow. But yeah, I still think that not Denver, Buffalo is that team. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Miami, hell, I just don't think that New England is going to be on top of the AFC East. So that's big Crack.
I'm kind of conflicted because I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow, they're going to, what Bill Belichick's going to do with both of those tight ends? I would not be surprised if they win the division. Like, placing a future bet on the Patriots isn't bad at all. But I would say Crack for now because, Josh Allen and Diggs, you saw what they did, man. They won me a fantasy championship. I was down like 60 points, and they went crazy that last week. Allen put up like 47 points, and that's in a league where I think it's 4 points per touchdown. And Diggs had like 30, and I was like, GG's, give me that money.
Happens like that sometimes.
All right. Next up on the list is in March Madness. At least let me specify that. In March Madness, will a team that is ranked 5th seed or below make it to the title game?
I think you could book that at this point. I just don't think that these higher seeds, hell, even in my Final Four, even though I didn't complete brackets, I only have 2 seeds that aren't below a 5 seed right now making it. And that's Florida State and Gonzaga. Other than that, I think Oral Roberts can possibly make it, and I think Loyola can make it. Because these high seeds, in a year like this, when I was just talking about it off camera, there's no home crowds. There's no fans buying up all these tickets from these big schools. So You just in the gym pooping. And if you off and they on, it's a wrap. Just like we seen in this game right here.
I could see it being facts, especially with Loya. They could get out of their bracket easily with having to play probably Houston as the best team there that's left, and then they would play worst case scenario Baylor makes it out of the other bracket. So I have big facts on it, and I'm riding with Loya. I'm gonna place a future bet. Everyone should do that. In Baylor's bracket right now, if Loya made it, where the fuck is Baylor? You got Villanova, Arkansas, Florida, Oral Roberts. Yeah, let them see Sister Jean. She gonna say a prayer. GG's title game. I like
Damn.
it. I like it.
Yes, I
It's
mean,
set up. When you think about it, it's like, yo, it could easily happen.
I
and
just
no
think
one would
with
be
the way they
surprised.
play defense and the way they run offense, how many set plays they run.
But there's a reason that A seed with the third best odds to win the title.
If your defense ain't on point and you not hitting your shots, you will
Mhm.
get ran out the gym by this team. They do not play games, bro. And their big man is hella fundamentally sound. He be doing shit that is like, bruh, he's not athletic. They throwing him lobs. He got a 9-inch vert. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's insane, bruh. Insane. But yeah, book that. 5 seed or lower is in the Final Four or national championship, however you want to look at that.
I just got a notification that the Hawks and Bulls are looking at Lonzo Ball, and it's around Cam Reddish. So Cam Reddish goes meet back with Zion. That'd be kind of lit. Would he start? Because Lonzo's not going to be there.
If you send Cam Reddish to New Orleans, I mean, maybe because they need another wing next to Brandon Ingram.
That'd be
But
kind of fire.
I think they've kind of made their mind up. It's Eric Bledsoe, Nickeil Alexander, Kyra Lewis. They've all kind of moved on. I think Lonzo is expendable at this point. It's not that he's bad or anything. He's just expendable.
And we're going to talk about the NBA trade deadline later on. So we're definitely going to get more into that. A lot of exciting news probably going to come up later this week. But going back to March Madness and on to the next Facts or Crack subject, will a 1 seed make it to the title game?
The only one that I think has a chance is Gonzaga. That's it. Other than
Do
that,
they have any big men? Because they would possibly see USC. USC would make it, and those they're fire.
I don't know if they have a big man, but then again, it's Gonzaga. They keep them like that. You feel
They
me?
gotta
They
go
just-
against Oklahoma. If they beat that, it's Creighton, Ohio, and then after that, it's either USC, Kansas, Oregon, or Iowa.
I got Gonzaga at least making it. I mean, hell, what other ones? Michigan is left, but they would have to
Michigan
play Florida
got.
State
They
possibly.
gotta play LSU tomorrow. They got Colorado or Florida State after that, and then that's the Maryland, Alabama, and then the UCLA and Abai Christian School.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they're undefeated with that coach hitting that dance. I don't care what anybody else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they get to the Sweet 16.
there's still one more 1 seed that we're not talking about.
There's Baylor.
Baylor, yeah,
Oh, you talking about the one that lost today?
yeah. Illinois is fried, but
Yo,
Baylor, I don't think they make it.
they
So,
got
yeah,
Arkansas, Florida, Oral Roberts, Villanova, North Texas, Texas Tech. That's who's left. I think they can make it. So the
Nah,
Final Four
Florida or Roberts,
for real.
Arkansas,
Florida, that would be
Moody,
yo, Florida get there.
anybody. Nah, I don't think Baylor gets it done. Hell nah.
So we got Pete from Gamble on Ginter chatting, and he goes, Baylor?
Exactly, bro.
And then you got Anonymous Bet VIP chatting, and he says Baylor's going to win it all.
That's bro. Nah, big
I
dog.
don't like it.
We're on two different ends of the spectrum here
I
in
don't
the
like them
chat.
to win it.
Not
Hey,
Baylor.
Pete, who do you have winning? If you're watching this right now, please, because I
Yeah.
really don't have a clue.
Shout out Gamble on Ginter sending us a NCAA
'Cause it's
encyclopedia
like, I
that,
just-
that
yeah,
helps
shout out
Winning
to
a
Pete.
championship, shit. I'd take FSU. Feel me? Hey, we got a football and a basketball school now.
I'ma rock
We
with
own
Cade.
that shit.
If I had to just go off, I'm gonna rock with Cade.
Nah,
Yeah,
they might fuck around and lose tonight.
chill.
Mm-mm.
Don't jinx it.
Sicko shits.
Don't jinx it.
Well, on some sicko shits, I feel like everybody is sick because we saw the King go down last night, and LeBron James is out indefinitely with an ankle injury. I know that hurts Chloe's heart. But with LeBron out, are the Lakers at risk of missing the playoffs?
Correct.
Oh, and also real quick before we jump into it, Pete says he has Baylor versus Gonzaga in the finals.
Hey,
Hey, we're gonna see what Gonzaga's made out of because they just be choking.
Pete, I know what I'm talking about.
But going back to the subject, with LeBron out, are the Lakers in danger of missing the playoffs?
I think they're so high up in the win column already that they really can't. Even though when you think about it, now you got Kyle Kuzma as your number one option, or Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder he's gonna get himself a bag. In these 2 weeks, he's gonna go for like 24 and 5. I think they're third. They have 20.
The Lakers are currently in third at 28 and 14.
I feel like worst case scenario because like the Nuggets are only 2 games back in the loss column, and even the Trailblazers, the Spurs are the 7th seed and they're 3 games back. They could be at the play-in, but they're not going to miss the playoffs.
The Lakers are up 1.5 games of the Clippers right now, and then up 2 games on the Nuggets and the Trailblazers.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. Sorry.
They're not going to miss the playoffs. I think Dennis and Montrez step up. You want to trade?
I'm straight.
Damn.
I'm straight. They don't miss it for sure. They could fuck around, end up in that playing game just because they're only separated by I think 4.5 games between the Spurs.
Have to see Luka.
Not only that, it's just like, bruh, at the end of the day, I think this is the best case scenario for them. They're not a bad team. LeBron's 36. AD, we know he's injury prone at this point. Like, there's nothing that we haven't seen with him before. Yeah. Just sit him down, let him relax, get healthy. If it's 2.5, 3 weeks off, let him come back at the same time, get rolling right before the playoffs. Everything will take care of itself.
You like them to get in as like a 7th or 6th seed and just win the finals like that? They're going to run through the
They can definitely run through it just because, bro, at the end of the day, home court advantage isn't what it is. I'm like, bro, you have 2,000 fans in there. What we do? Shit. Like, all we doing is traveling now instead of being in a bubble. That's it. Still basically the same thing.
Same result as last year.
Niggas finna get blown off the courts.
Finals gonna be probably just more competitive. I even think if the Lakers were to make it against Philly, that would be a fire-ass finals. Because you would see two of the best big men who literally are just always hurt, but they'd be going at it. And then LeBron's obviously going to have to see Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is going to see LeBron.
It would be nice to watch, don't get me wrong, but I think overall, that wouldn't be the matchup that the Lakers would want, honestly.
For real?
Yeah. You got depth on that
Philly roster?
Yeah. You got Curry and Tobias. Who your next two up? Kuzma and Schroeder?
Schroeder and Trez.
Curry and Tobias. Schroeder and Trez. Even if you say Schroeder is better than Curry, Trez not better than Tobias.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, that's not the matchup you want. If you get the Lakers versus the Nets.
How is that the matchup? They got an extra star.
Who the hell? You think Blake Griffin's checking AD?
No.
So who the hell is checking AD at the end of the day?
I don't know, but the thing is, you got to think about who's checking.
Oh, you tell KD all the
and Kyrie.
You tell everyone else, yo, LeBron and AD will win this finals, averaging 40. Y'all just play defense. That's all. Don't worry about shooting the fucking ball. Just play defense. That's what the rest of y'all do.
What if they manage to get Drummond?
Oh, it's a wrap. If the Lakers get Drummond, it's a wrap.
No, not the Lakers. If Brooklyn gets,
oh, then who's going to check AD? Then I'll start praying. But if the Lakers were to get Drummond somehow, they keep their pieces, and they play with Drummond and AD and LeBron as that front court, yo, it's a wrap. And let them see Brooklyn in the finals. Who the hell is going to stop them? DeAndre Jordan? He's like, bro, I'm like 35, man. I can't do this. KD? He better start drinking protein 5 times a day.
It's a wrap. I just don't think
that would just, to be honest, it's not even no disrespect to those 3 superstars over there, but it's like that would possibly be like a 5-game series because who's getting the rebounds over there?
The Nets don't want to see a big man, period. Let's just say that.
Embiid might do 40 and 20 when they play.
Exactly. Like
Giannis might do the same shit. Because KD can't cover Giannis.
And you're going to be like Giannis Blake Griffin guard him, and he's going to kill Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin's like, bro, I am not 25 anymore. This shit hurt. My knee's feeling tingly. What the hell is happening?
Right. Shit. What's our next topic, sir?
All right. Well, we were talking about LeBron being out and if the Lakers are at risk of missing the playoffs. And since LeBron's out, obviously that affects a whole lot more than just the Lakers.
Mhm.
A lot of people said LeBron was the number one candidate to win the MVP this year. Now, with LeBron being out, is Big Joke guaranteed to win the MVP at this point?
It's between him and Dame.
Yeah, I don't think it's guaranteed. Though, especially those two, because they haven't got hurt and they're like right at each other's necks in the conference at 5 and 4. Nuggets 5, I think. Dame's 4. Blazers are 4.
I feel like
And
Harden,
CJ just came back as well.
the
That's gonna
issue
help.
with Harden and Kyrie is the fact that they play with each other. So it's like, bro, if you didn't have someone who was also in MVP contention, then yeah, you would be the outright runner, bro.
But if I'm keeping it real with the Harden and Kyrie, you've seen Harden.
Oh yeah, we've seen
lean-
him by
lean-
himself.
And Harden by himself and Kyrie by himself. You take Harden off that Nets team, and they might be near like 7th, 8th seed. You put Harden in the East by himself with on that Nets team. KD's out, Kyrie's out. Yo, I think they beat the Pacers. They were down by like 18 against the Pacers like last week, and they came back. Yo, this man Harden is literally one of the top 3 valuable players in the league. I think it's him, Curry, and LeBron. You go argue with KD and Giannis.
For sure. I just think that the fact that he has a teammate that can even be in MVP contention with Kyrie, then yeah, I think it's gonna be kind of hard. And what at the end of the day, when KD does come back, man was averaging what 27, 28 points.
Yeah, he was the same shit. Like,
So it's just like, bruh, like you said, he's valuable, but bruh, you got greatness around you, my nigga.
yeah.
No argument of Jimmy Butler potentially being the MVP.
The
And
Heat would
are
have
right
to
there as the
be
4th
a
seed.
top 3 seed.
I think when I wrote it in the article, he has like 11 career triple doubles and he has like 4 or 5 this year. The man is going dumb. Since the finals, he was like, yo, getting these triple doubles is fun. I don't even look at the stats. I just be playing and I look up, I got triple double. That's fun. He be going stupid. He's probably top 5 most valuable players, in my opinion.
I think the other thing he's realized is that shit, if I could squeeze out one more finals appearance, I could probably see another max contract.
Well,
Because that's that bag right there. He already got 4 for 140 once. You give him that shit again, Jimmy gonna
Heat for
take that
lifer.
bitch. Exactly. At that point, he a Heat lifer.
You're going to get 2 statues, Wade and Butler.
well, speaking of getting the bag and securing contracts, quick question. Is NFL free agency better than the NBA's free agency? Facts or crack?
No. NBA free agency, I would say, is better. It's gonna sound crazy, but I like when players collude because the NFL teams and NBA teams have been doing that for years. So if it takes players teaming up, players saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take a pay cut. Hey, let's go do this and that," I think that's 10 times better. And also the fact that, bro, they got guaranteed contracts.
And I feel like also with the free agency, like when it comes to how many players are on the court versus on the field, like even those key signing role players just make a difference on the basketball court as opposed to the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you guys got Drake Carter last year, like look at that impact straight up.
Bro, there were so many, like, there's a reason why the Heat made the moves they did and the shit worked. It's not like you got hella hoopers and people who could just score. You got role players, people who finna play defense, know they role. And that's ultimately what it comes down to.
And I feel like also with football, it's like the top players, like that franchise just gives them the bag right away type shit. Like with NBA, it's just like after a couple years, nothing's happening. Yup, I'm out. Let's go get a bag. There's so much chaos.
I would say the other thing is, and I mean, we just saw it this past year with Harden when all the shit came out. NBA teams are a lot quicker to basically turn a team over to a superstar before a NFL team will. Because at the end of the day, the NFL gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
It's harder to find a superstar to sell those tickets. Yeah, that's hard in the NBA, but in the NFL, they will put anybody out there on that fucking field to replace you. It don't matter. Someone is looking for your job.
Thanks,
so
man,
it's
no,
like,
for real.
yeah, I'm taking the NBA free agency over NFL 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, switching from free agency to trade deadline news. This past week, we saw a couple of trades go through in the NBA, and the Miami Heat acquired Trevor Ariza in exchange for a Nazi and a draft pick.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Did the Heat win their trade for Trevor Ariza? Facts or crack?
We traded a player who I don't think
Facts.
has suited up this year, or if he has, it's been very limited.
To be honest, sorry to cut you
He gave
off.
one hell of a standing ovation.
Before all of that happened with him, I still don't understand like what the hell, why was he on a roster? Like he's awful.
It's not that he's awful. I really feel
Bruh,
like
he's fucking
everyone
awful, bro.
everyone got caught up in the hype in the one game. I'm pretty sure most people remember it. It was the year the Warriors beat the Trailblazers with no KD because he was hurt, and then he went and got hurt in the finals. But that year he had, I think, like a 30-point game against the Warriors.
And they were like,
And
oh shit.
Nonetheless, Curry had 45 that game, so it kind of got canceled out. But it was like, oh, he's a stretch big. He can shoot. He can do all this. But yeah, all that became irrelevant. So it's just like when you can't play and you're doing shit like that, saying racist shit, and the team owner, team president is Jewish.
Yeah.
Like, bro, come on, bro. Your
fucking
ass is
goofy.
fried at this point.
He's a goofball.
Like when he got, like, I think the funniest thing about the whole situation is when he got the call from whoever the fuck called him, whether it was his PR person, the Heat
Yo, he
PR
was
person.
like, I gotta take a call, guys.
And then he was just like, yep, my wife needs me. I gotta go, guys.
GG's.
And I'm like, bro, that's not your wife.
He was like, you just got dropped. He's like, wait, what happened?
I'm just like, bro, shit just hit the fan so fast.
His guy was telling him what he said, and his whole life, it was like the wasted thing from Grand Theft Auto. He was just like, oh shit, everything was going through his mind.
My parents told me it's always okay to say that to Jewish people.
But yeah, it's big facts for Ariza, because when it comes to active leaders in steal percentage, number 6 is Trevor Ariza, number 7 is Jimmy Butler, and 15 is Iguodala. So Pat knows what he's doing, because he's like, yo, Brooklyn's over there, get that perimeter defense. Trevor Ariza is still fire.
Trevor Ariza got rings
He's a vet.
too. People can't sleep.
He's been on like so many teams. They just treat him so bad, but he got rings with Kobe, and that boy's he's a 3-and-D. He's gonna knock down those clutch shots.
Got a player that.
And
was
I
sitting
like
at home.
him to do what Crowder did for you guys last year. I don't know if like at the same level, but he's what Crowder was.
We got Avery Bradley sitting in the cut too, sitting in the cut like a
Bro,
crackhead.
is he
Just
okay?
ready to
Because
play
every time
defense.
he plays, he's just like, it looks like he's just like.
If they limit
he's
his
just
minutes,
bad.
I feel like he'll do just fine.
He's just ready
And
to come in there and play defense.
I feel like
Spo
that-
know what he's doing when those rotations come for playoff time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where I feel like players like Ariza come in clutches because you could alleviate the vets in that sense.
He's a damn vet, but he's like, I got this. I sacrificed.
But switching from one trade to another, the Milwaukee Bucks actually traded for PJ Tucker. Did the Bucks win their trade for PJ Tucker?
Big facts. You put Giannis at center, what's Brooklyn gonna do? Giannis could go at Embiid. I'm keeping it real. They go at each other. People don't understand. Like Giannis is like, he's just athletic Shaq, bro. He's that strong that he could go at anyone. And PJ's gonna play what? He'll play the 4 probably.
Yeah,
And that corner 3, he's the best at it in the NBA. I forgot from which side.
probably the right side.
I love it. He got the most fire shoe collection. Shout out to PJ Tucker.
And I will say, no one would have probably thought the package he got traded for would be the package he got traded for. Because it was PJ Tucker, and in addition, there was another player. I can't even say his name for the life of me. But it was him and one other player for DJ Augustin, DJ Wilson, and a Bucks first-round pick.
It's not bad.
Hey, the Bucks needed to make some moves.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bucks have realized you need to go all in, and it's better to be like, look, at the end of Giannis's contract, you can show him all the moves you made. Hey, we're in depth in the lottery, all this shit. Versus,
And this is a great ass move. Like this is
Exactly.
like, yo, at the end of the game, it's gonna be Giannis, Middleton, Drew Holiday still there, PJ Tucker. What that's for? You might even throw DiVincenzo in there. Did I say Middleton?
yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be fire.
it'll be interesting to see how they end games with that addition. Just because, hell, when did the Heat trade go through? On Wednesday or Tuesday, something like that. And I saw Trevor Ariza closing out the game today against the
He
don't
took
tell
like
me.
10 tests negatives. He
Who
was like,
the
yeah,
hell?
yeah.
We played somebody.
We played the
today.
Pacers.
Exactly. Fuck the Pacers because they got the Holiday twins.
So they beat you 2
brothers.
straight times.
Yeah. Miles Turner, Defensive Player of the Year. That's all
5
I
plus
gotta say.
blocks this year.
In back-to-back games.
I almost had a stroke saying that he's had 11 of those this year. The next closest I think is the French guy at Rudy Gobert at 5.
Bro, he's Defensive Player of the Year by far.
But they probably won't give it him.
Exactly.
I think Rudy Gobert is leading. And it's like he's gonna win 3 straight. That's impressive. That's gonna go down in history. But it's like I feel like you could give it a banner. This
They're gonna
man's
try to
doing
make
5,
Rudy Gobert a
bro.
fucking Hall of Famer at this point, bro.
At this point, he probably will be. And if he gets this 3rd straight Defensive Player of the Year, yeah, just give it to him. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
All right. So up next, we actually got a special guest.
What?
A surprise special guest. So on the line right now, we got Pete from Gamble on Ginter.
Yo.
Hey Pete, how you doing?
Hello.
Hold on, let me get him connected.
I
I
don't
just
hear
really.
anything.
Oh, now, all right, Pete. There you are. Pete.
What up, boys?
Yo. Syracuse.
What's going on, man? How's it going? Happy tournament time. This is wonderful.
Yeah, we got the Syracuse game playing right now, and
I know I'm on it, and they can shoot the lights out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing. I mean, I'm looking at this kid, Boeheim.
Oh
the
my
best-
God.
Oh my goodness.
oh, he just hit the
He just jacked it from like 35 Steph Curry style. Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, we
that
got.
kid Boeheim,
Oh, I was
that,
gonna say we got Pete here with us real quick to talk March Madness. So for those who don't know who Pete is from the Gamble on Ginter podcast, and
Money
yeah,
man.
this man has been all over March
Money man,
Madness right
Pete.
now. So talk to us, Pete. What's going on right now? How you feeling about the Syracuse game?
So right now, the Syracuse game is kind of going as I expected. I think honestly, West Virginia's got a run in them. But a lot of threes, a lot of points. These teams both look like two of the better offensive teams in a tournament where it seems like a lot of defense has been outlined. We've seen a lot of really amazing defensive performances. I mean, specifically, we saw Loyola, which you guys were talking about, should be the story of the tournament so far. But you're seeing a lot of 50 to 55 point games. The under has been absolutely huge in this tournament. So it's nice and refreshing to see a game with two teams who shoot the lights out like Syracuse and West Virginia.
All right. Well, it's good to hear that everybody's so active on it. So let's actually talk March Madness real quick. So we're about what now? 2-3 days into the tournament, right? We're in like the middle of the second round.
Yeah, and there was no more brackets after
Day
yesterday.
1 of the second round.
And there's no perfect brackets as of yesterday.
I
which
think
was
as
the
of
second
day
day.
1, it went to like 0.42 or 0.042 because of Ohio State losing. Yeah, it's tragic.
So with that being said, we've obviously seen a whole lot of talent be exposed in the tournament as we usually see every single year, and it leads into the NBA draft. Do we see any potential NBA stars in the tournament so far? Let's Pete kick it off.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think when you start about this tournament and you think of the players, you got to start with Cade Cunningham on Oklahoma State. This kid is projected to be somewhere near those first 2 picks. Lengthy guy. I think he's about 6'7", 6'8". He's that winger that you kind of look for. And he does a little bit of everything. And I really think he's going to be really, really hot. My personal favorite is Jalen Suggs, the point guard for Gonzaga. The way that he leads that team as a freshman, I think he's going to be somewhere in the 4 or 5 range. He's got some Kyrie Irving in him. Maybe not so much with the handles, but just his demeanor, the way he runs his offense. Jalen Suggs is probably my favorite prospect in this tournament from Gonzaga.
How do you like the Mobley boy from USC?
The Mobley twins? All right, so I like Evan. I think Evan Mobley has his potential to be like one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. Like he reminds me a little bit of Miles Turner. The way that his game kind of spreads out. He needs to get a little bit better, at the shooting aspect of it in order to really play. And he is kind of thin. So I think he's going to be a guy that, will get drafted decently high, but maybe needs, maybe a year or 2 to work on his body before he becomes a regular in an NBA lineup. But once he does, this guy is a flat out defender and a premier shot blocker.
I can't disagree with that. I can't. A few names that I like to start. Scotty Barnes. I think he easily could play right now 3-and-D in the NBA. He's only going to get better. And yeah, I mean, hey, he's from Florida State. He's from Broward County. A lot of it makes sense. He's great. But he also plays the point guard position at Florida State, so that's hella crazy because he's 6'7", 6'8", big as hell. So I like him. Besides that,
There's someone
Jalen
else on
Suggs.
Gonzaga. Isn't he like a small forward?
So they got a couple dudes.
He's projected to be a lottery pick.
For whatever weird reason. I don't know if I have a great comparison for him. They got two dudes. Him and Drew Tammy, who is their Drew Tammy's like their center. He's got a little. He's like a white Tim Duncan with a weird mustache, man. Everything he does is so fundamental, and he has the size. He inches close to 7 foot. Like when you talk fundamental, you think of that kid from Loyola Chicago, but Tammy's got the footwork, and you see a little Tim Duncan in this game. He's always in the right spot on offense, and Kispert is an absolute assassin, a complete scorer. Reminds me of Gordon Hayward. Maybe a better shooter too.
Damn. The only other name that I've been paying attention to has been Moses Moody at Arkansas, because he scores in bunches. That shit is scary.
Very few guys in the tournament this year. You know how much those guys can go off, and we'll see. Again, Steph Curry made his stock rise, and it's because of the NCAA.
What about Jason Preston?
Who?
Kid from Ohio, I'm pretty sure.
Ohio.
Oh, the kid from Ohio, man. Anytime you kind of get those mid-major double, triple-double threats, that kid's good. I would like him to be a little bit more aggressive, even in that game against Virginia. I know it's hard. Virginia is one of the better defensive teams in the tournament.
I felt he was passive. Like he was looking for the passes, but he was just like, at times it was like every time he drove in, he would score with ease, but he just wouldn't do that every single time.
Yeah, but you also don't see that from like a mid-major school. Someone, a guard who has the size and just has the natural ability. I mean, that he has. I mean, you're looking at him and you're seeing, oh man, he's putting up. He can put up triple doubles every time he goes out there. I mean, I think he had like 14 rebounds in the win against Virginia. Not many guards are rebounding like that, especially in this tournament.
All right. Well, moving on from potential stars into some first and second round discussions. Do we have any first and second round surprises?
So I think teams like North Texas, Oral Roberts are obviously surprises, because I think everyone thought highly of Purdue and Ohio State and really any of the Big Ten teams going in. So they're definitely surprises. I mean, obviously Illinois is going down so early, but I wouldn't attribute that to Illinois being a bad team. I just think there is no way in hell that Loyola should have been going into this tournament an 8 seed. I mean, you just look at the rest of their division. I mean, Illinois, Houston, West Virginia all have legitimate cases. Then you start looking at Oklahoma State, Tennessee, San Diego State, and Clemson. And Loyola, I think, on paper, is better than all of the teams I just mentioned. And 4 or 5 of the teams that I just mentioned aren't even in the tournament. So, legitimately, Loyola going in, I mean, they were 25-4. They're a great defense. Yes, they didn't play in the best conference, but they should have been higher up. So, it's a bad break, because out of all the 8 seeds you're going to see, Loyola is probably the best you're gonna see. But I think going on, we're going to see an 11-12 seed, really make a run. I mean, we're looking at Syracuse right now. We're about to have the first 2 teams into the Sweet 16 are going to be an 8 seed and an 11 seed. Even in the most maddest years, you don't see that very often.
For me, the obvious biggest surprises have been, one, the amount of defense that's been played. Like you said, all the unders have been hitting, and it's just like, I don't know if kids are nervous playing in empty gyms, basically. No home court advantage.
They're going so hard. There's like,
and then you look at the other side of it, and it's like, damn, I don't know when you've seen this many big seeds go down so early, to the point where, like SportsCenter said and mentioned earlier, this is the first time you've seen 4 double-digit seeds seeded higher than 12
Uh-huh.
reach the second round.
Is it because of the no fans, you think?
Oh, for sure.
Like, that has to be the big,
For
it's
sure.
insane.
Well, the thing is, most of these games, like even so, I mean, they are on neutral court.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, the better traveling fan bases, you would think, yeah, they're going to have an advantage. But I'll give you one. You know, it's kind of, again, everything's being played in Indianapolis. That's Purdue's home state. One of the regionals is being played in Purdue's home gym, and they are sitting at home right now after losing to North Texas.
Yeah,
So,
they folded.
I don't know much about the North Texas Mean Greens fan base, but I don't think they travel that well. So
Hell.
where it would have really mattered even with an open gym. So I think it's a factor, but not so much because again, those crowds at March Madness, those look back in history, they're pretty rabid, and they're not necessarily it can be in those early rounds kind of like a really big home game. Like obviously the Ohio State game, it probably would have had more of an impact because it would have been 90-10 Ohio State fans. But I don't think it's as big of a factor.
All right. So on from surprises to first and second round disappointments. Let's have Close start this one off.
What are we having?
First and second round disappointments.
Let me look at this because I know I had a couple. BYU. If BYU won yesterday.
Oh, I remember how
Texas
upset you
won,
were with that.
I'm watching it. BYU's on a run, and then it just slowly withers away, and it's just a 10-point game. Then it's a 9-point game. Then it's like a 13-point game, and it was just like the $400 was just going away, and then they vanished like Thanos, and it was over.
I got Ohio State. The way they got beat, that shit was depressing to
Their
me.
star folded. He went crazy, and he folded in those last 2 minutes.
I'm just like,
The
they were
two free throws, the
so
3-point
close.
shot.
Exactly. He had open looks, and I'm like, damn, he's got a good look to try to send it to overtime, and he just couldn't hit shit at that point.
North Carolina got blown out.
North Carolina.
Out the water. 23 points.
They weren't, Duke and North Carolina weren't, even Kentucky, they weren't the usual teams that they are. I don't know
You
what
think
the
this
fuck
tournament
was
is
wrong
weird
with
because
them.
of that?
Yes,
You would
because
always
they're
see those
missing.
people in there.
Hell yeah.
I think you can just say Big Ten, just Big Ten in total. What they've been. This was the power conference going into the tournament. They had, I think, 6 or 7 teams in the AP top 25. And to lose already, you lost Ohio State, you lost Illinois, you've
Wisconsin.
lost Purdue, you've lost Wisconsin now, and it starts with Ohio State, obviously, because being a 2 seed, although they didn't deserve to be a 2 seed. Look at the numbers. Look at different things that they had to go through throughout the season. They didn't deserve the seeding that they were given. I honestly, they got exposed by an Oral Roberts team who honestly shoots the lights out. So it starts with the Big Ten is the big conference where you're looking at it and you're disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in Tennessee as well. I thought that could be a dark horse team from the SEC. It's a team that I like preseason as a team that could compete. And it sucks, especially for seniors that have to go through, that ending. It's just not right.
All right. Well, moving on to the future, what are some key games we could look forward to as round 2 wraps up and round 3 approaches?
Oh, I think the biggest one is happening. One of the big ones is happening or is just about to tip off. You got Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Talk about an absolute contrast in styles. Arkansas loves to go up the court. They almost, they get almost 65 shots up a game. And then you take the Texas Tech, who is known for slowing everything down, making them work at their own pace. I think what you're going to see, we don't have those kind of matchups where you can see contrasting styles like that very often. But I am pretty big on the Texas Tech Arkansas game. I can't wait to see how that kind of works out. And then as you get on, as we get on through the tournament. What big seeds, is Gonzaga even going to be challenged on their way to the Final Four? They had a really, really tough bracket, but you're looking at teams like Kansas, USC, Iowa, and I think they're going to beat up on each other in Gonzaga. I mean, they're going to be going through, Ohio, Oklahoma on their way
to the Elite Eight. Yeah, they're for sure going to coast.
Creighton. It's just, I think the big games are going to be teams like, I think USC can honestly make an Elite Eight run.
Oh, I think they're beating Kansas for sure. 100%.
I think Kansas is really, like, Kansas going in. I think they are this is one of the worst Kansas teams we've ever seen. And they have to really rally back to beat a very bold. Put it in any ways. Yes, they had a really cool bearded kid that you guys can watch, and they balled out, did their thing, but they struggled to beat Eastern Washington, who is not a good team. And you think you're going to come in against a good defensive team like USC with the size and length that they have, and you're just going to run amok on them? That ain't going to happen. So USC is one of those teams that I think can make a sneaky little Elite Eight run. Same thing with Arkansas.
I'm trying to see Oklahoma State versus Sister Jean next week if they beat OSU. Defense, that'll be fire. That could happen next week.
Got to get through the Beavers, who are probably one of the hottest teams going through. So, I mean, I don't think Oklahoma State looked all that impressive. It was nice that they got through Liberty, who is one of those sneaky good defensive teams in that division. But then, they're going to have to deal with the likes of like a Loyola, and I just don't like the matchup for them with either of these teams. So I like Oklahoma State because you got to like Cade Cunningham and the little pieces around them. I saw, one of their point guard fall out in the last game against Liberty. But, overall, you look at the numbers, they're an average tournament team numbers-wise. They just have one exceptional player.
I'm looking forward to, first of all, the Florida Oral Roberts game at 7:45 at night.
It's today?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can say this as a Florida Gator fan. I am not. I don't think I've ever gone to a game more worried, because I can tell you before this tournament, I said Florida had no business being in this tournament. No business for the most part. They played a lot of good teams, but you lost one of your best players to something horrific at the beginning of the season. Yeah, their point guard, man's pretty good. Castleton's an all right center. You got some size there, but it didn't look good for them. So they squeaked by, West Virginia, and now they got an Oral Roberts team who, don't get fooled. They shoot. They're 39% as a team from three and have been better in this tournament than other teams. They shoot, when it comes down, one of the big things I look at when I'm looking at a tournament team and seeing, okay, if it's going to be a close game, who do I trust? I look at the free throw numbers. Oral Roberts is one of the top teams still remaining. They shoot almost at 83%. That's impressive for an NBA team to shoot 83% as a team from the free throw line. And that is what Oral Roberts has done all season. So, yeah, I'm worried about Florida in this one.
A possible matchup, Florida State, because, hell, I think Florida State can take anybody out, especially that number one seed. I'm not too terrified about Alabama and the rest of that bracket, but yeah, Florida State, Michigan is what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, so you guys winning the ship?
Final Four.
One of my about Florida State is they turn the ball over a lot. They did that throughout the season. They were very susceptible to the turnovers, and they are, of the teams remaining, they're one of the more below average defenses. So when you're playing an Alabama, when you're playing a Michigan, it gets turned up a little bit because those teams are so efficient offensively. Alabama's more of, hey, they take 33s a game. Kind of efficient. But still, you got to match that firepower. And Florida State's got the athletes. There's no question about it. Scotty Barnes is one hell of a player. There's no doubting that, and they got wing. They've got the wing talent to be able to compete in this tournament for what you're looking at. But I think Michigan's a little bit much for them when it comes down when you're taking all parts. And as we get deeper into the tournament, it's more likely that they're going to get a more healthy Livens on Michigan, and that boy in the center, I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Hutchinson, but the big 7-footer that Michigan has, the freshman, he is the real deal and is a real life NBA prospect that's starting to develop.
I could believe it, definitely.
Well, let's talk about one final thing in regards to March Madness, but do we have any sleeper teams that we should keep an eye on?
Oh, well, you all got introduced to Loyola today. I think the general public realizes that this is the best defense going into the tournament. I think the team that we're kind of brushing to the side, and it's not, I wouldn't say that they're a sleeper. It's just people need to understand that this team statistically is one of the better teams in the tournament, and that's Houston. Houston came in with a higher BPI ranking than Illinois, but Illinois was put at the higher seed because they play in the Big Ten. Don't get it twisted. They're averaging 77 a game and giving up 57 a game. So if Loyola is number one in defense, if Houston is two. Loyola isn't like, we get this decide, oh man, they're this great team. They got Sister Jean's voodoo magic. That's a huge difference. I can't
serious.
That she may be a warlock, but
she is.
But
I saw her in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I could say Houston can do everything Loyola does and maybe better. So Houston, in order to beat Loyola, because they've lost 4 times this year. They lost to Wisconsin, who's out. They lost to Drake, who's out. They lost to Indiana State, who wasn't even thought of in the tournament. You have to be able to play in the half court because you ain't getting their transition defense is too good. You ain't just going to run and speed them up. You're going to play at Loyola's pace. You've got to learn to play at that pace, and you have to be good in the half court. You can't turn the ball over. Houston does not turn the ball over at all. They're one of the best at taking care of the ball, which is very rare from a team like that. And you have to be able to defend them. The goal for you should be you got to hold them to 60 and find a way to get 60 yourself. If you can hold Loyola to 60, you got a shot. And Houston's capable of doing that. So I don't necessarily think that's like a sleeper because when you think of that, you think the higher seed. They're definitely getting slept on. I really like Houston now that Illinois is out to possibly make a deep run into the tournament. And they may have trouble. I think they may have trouble with Syracuse in the next round just because Syracuse can shoot the lights out. West Virginia is going to give them a game if they get through because West Virginia is a good, well-run team. But don't sleep on Houston. They're really, really good.
I'm looking at USC, but more specifically, I got a Pac-12 team. I feel like the Pac-12 overall was disrespected going into this tournament, and they're showing everybody that they can play and that they can hoop with just about anybody. Mm-hmm. So whether it's UCLA, Oregon, Colorado, even USC, it doesn't matter. I think a Pac-12 team will definitely, at the very least, be in the Elite Eight, if not the Final Four.
Yeah, and we didn't see Oregon play, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting caveat as well.
I totally forgot these guys won 1-0 on some hockey shit.
Yeah,
I totally forgot. All right, how do you feel about them in the tournament?
And Oregon and the Pac-12 kind of got it's been pretty disrespectful. Don't forget UCLA has already won 2 games in the tournament too. So Pac-12 has been well represented in this tournament. When it comes down to it, though, specifically USC, you see the buzzsaws, and again, you look at that Gonzaga bracket, and Gonzaga is the outright favorite team. You got Iowa, Kansas, Creighton. There's some good teams. They're all within the BPI top 20 ranks. They're all power teams. They all do things differently. And eventually for USC, I think it's going to be tough. I agree. I think USC is an Elite Eight team. I think I think they have the size to match up with Iowa and make it a good game that way. And I think, I don't trust Kansas, as I stated before. So I think they got to pass to the Elite Eight, and then they just run into a buzzsaw.
All right, Chloe, do you have your sleepers?
No, to be honest, I don't have any sleepers. I'm just riding with Cade Cunningham because he's Cade Cunningham.
All right. Well, Pete, we appreciate you calling on in so this way we could get your takes on March Madness.
Pete, last question: Would you put money on Oral Roberts tonight?
Oh! Would I put money on Oral Roberts tonight? So here's the deal. The only thing that scares me about Oral Roberts is the amount of public that's backing Oral Roberts. 71% of the money is on the spread on Oral Roberts, which if you're one of those who is on the house always wins, better. You're more of, trying to get the advantage that way, then Florida actually makes sense that way. However, you look at the numbers, you look at all the things that Oral Roberts does well. I don't think Florida's that good as a team. And everything that I see here, I'm not only putting money on Oral Roberts +9 tonight, I got some money on the money line, and I think Oral Roberts has a chance to pull off the upside tonight. And I'm willing, at the odds you're going to get it at, +350. I'll say it outright on the show. Give me Oral Roberts tonight.
Let's go. That's all I needed to hear. Thank you.
Pete, we appreciate you calling in, brother.
I kind of want myself to lose there too. Go Gators.
And for those who don't know, congratulations to Pete. Officially got married for the second time yesterday to the same woman.
Shout out my dog, Pete.
No divorces involved.
Adult
When
life.
you married for the second time, it doesn't.
With no divorces in the middle.
So be careful with that. But yeah, me and my wife never got the actual wedding, so we got married. Just did a small little ceremony for the first time. We got to have the full thing. This past Saturday, it was wonderful. Everything that we could have dreamed for. So thank you very much.
Anytime, brother. We'll catch you around, man. Thank you for calling in, and take it easy.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. So shout out to Pete. You could go follow his show at Gamble on Ginter. They help you win free money. Literally,
Basically.
you could join their Discord chat to win
Free money is nice money.
I mean, you literally just saw Chloe do it on air. Hey, Pete, would you bet on this? Yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this money.
Fuck yeah.
But we got one final topic before we wrap it up for the day. NBA trade deadline is this week. Any predictions? Anything you guys would like to
Lonzo,
see?
Norman Powell, but at the same time, I have them in fantasy, so I don't want them to go because their production
Exactly.
is I don't want that to
Oladipo
happen.
gone.
Bro, those are 3 guys on my fantasy team.
Oladipo, he out of there.
He's auditioning, bro. He's going crazy. He's gone crazy the past 3 games.
To me, the only other name that I would look into would be shit. I can't even tell you. Ain't nobody else that valuable right now.
Vucevic, Aaron Gordon.
I mean, I feel like Aaron Gordon, he can get a new start, but I would rather Vucevic, but you're going to get robbed for Vucevic at this point. Like, they're going to be like, I need your whole franchise because that's what he is to us. And it's just like, if that's the case, then you kind of stuck like Chuck. Other than that, those 3 names, I feel like out of those 3 that we named, someone's moving for sure. Someone's got to move this week. Just because
it's going to happen. Lonzo didn't play today because of an injury. Things like that.
Yeah, they probably told us that they start packing shit.
Start packing you out right now.
You don't know where you're going. You just start packing, bro.
It's a surprise.
Oh yeah, Syracuse shooting them lights out again. It's a 12-point game again. It's scary hours right now. This shit is crazy. They don't play no games with nobody.
Well, I think that might be it then.
You weren't
I
gonna.
think that is it, sir.
As always, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, MBF_Chloe, MBF_. Trill, MBF_podcast. At the Icon Network, Unwrap Sports. At Only a Mono on YouTube, MBF_podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification. And on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. Nothing but facts all together. I got to place another parlay because I'm addicted.
That's not good, but okay.
You like Oklahoma State tonight?
Hell no, I like Oregon State.
For real? What's so
Yeah.
fire about them?
Ethan Thompson,
Who the fuck is that?
look him up.
He better than Cade Cunningham?
He Cali. He from Cali. That's
Oh,
all I
shit.
gotta say. He from
Oh,
Cali.
he's a snowfall.
Yep.
Okay.